all probably know already. Janaknath Prabhu. Who doesn't know him? Who doesn't know who is Janaknath Prabhu? So 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now you have to explain who he is.
So Janaknath Prabhu is a very exalted devotee.
And I don't talk these things.
And so this is him. So he serves for a long time. He's in the temple, also in the Suriname temple, by the way. And he's one of the pujaris and one of the most senior devotees. So we are very excited to hear his lecture today. So give him a big Haribol!
You already asked who's for the first time?
Yes.
Really?
There are 5
Who know you.
who know you, yes. So 5 people. So this is you for the first time.
We can open up this one. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So he's overdoing a little bit by talking exalted things like that. I'm just a general guy. So when I'm, and that proves that I'm just, thank you so much. That I'm just a general guy because when I walk, and today I came walking mostly when I do the Pujari service, I come with a bicycle. But when I walk, then I try to, at least today, not always, I try to see spirit souls and not material bodies. And that's a very difficult thing to see actually spirit souls. Mostly the eye wants to see the body. That's one game everybody can do when you take something from today, is that try to exercise when you go and when you walk outside, you go shopping or whatever you do, try to see the spirit soul and not the body. One other thing I'm doing sometimes when I come on the bicycle to the temple is that when I read something, because the first part is very quiet, there's trees and all that, but once I come in Amsterdam, when I cross the river and I come at Central Station, and I go with the bicycle in town, then you see all kinds of signs. And what I sometimes also try to do is to, when I see a word, let's say I see the word curve, then I try to make with the letters of the word in my head, I try to make some spiritual kind of thing. So C is Chaitanya, the U is Uddhava, the R is Radharani, like that. So that's also, then I keep my mind busy, not looking at all the material things, but try to see it in a spiritual way. And actually, that's actually what we're going to talk about today, because we read from the Bhagavad Gita, from the first chapter, that's the favorite chapter. And Arjuna is there in problem. We will read. We will read from Bhagavad Gita, probably text 30 or 40. But first, as usual, we are the singing community. We sing the proper song before we start with the lecture. And then after that we will try to say something about this sloka and about community and love, I think. When I come here on the bicycle, I pass the street, there's a big huge tree, it's a trunk of a tree, and it's fallen down. And on the tree, some smart guy wrote with a big paintbrush or something, "Love is the only cure." I think we all can agree in one sense on that one. Love is the only cure. But there's something more to say on it, and I try to say something on that in relation to Arjuna's problem in the first chapter, and it's called Observing the Armies, and we will try to find out what is his problem and what is the problem with love. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda
Hare Krishna,
तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः।
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदामयं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतात्मनं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं साजीवं सद्वैतं साधुतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Everybody can move up forward, please.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We gaan voor Bertha. Even kijken. So first of all, I want, of course, to thank the responsible devotees to invite me for giving some. Well, we call it lecture or class, but actually, in Vaishnava Sangha is not considered to be like a class or a lecture. Class or a lecture classes on a university, lectures are, I don't know, some institutions also university, but Vaishnava Sangha actually is more like, we come together and we all do something there to make it a successful thing. So we have big kirtan before, so we have kirtan after, and that's the formula. I mean, first the kirtan to clean the heart a little bit, to make it receptive, so that we can pick up something from the sangha, and then after the sangha, then again there will be. It's called prasanga. It's something more than sangha. Sangha means coming together with honest people who follow some principles of religion. They are stay with their wives, they don't divorce. They bring up the children with some education about what is good and what is bad. That means sangha. That is the sangha when you come together. That is pious activities, pious rules and regulations. But prasanga, what we have here, that means the pra it means that it has something more than only that. Of course, we also have all that, the sangha things, the being good to others and following rules and regulations. But then we add something more. That's the pra, and that the pra means actually Krishna Katha, talking about Krishna, talking about things related to Krishna. And then there is, it's said that who's more important, the speaker or the listener? And everybody who once gave a lecture, or everybody who is a teacher, even in the material sense, it counts that if the students doesn't want to hear, then the teacher cannot teach. I was a teacher for 12 years, and I was enthusiastic about the subject. So the students, you can see that, you can feel it, they want to hear because you're enthusiastic, and then they want to listen, and then you become more enthusiastic, and then they want to listen more. So it's reciprocative. It's an exchange with the listener and the one who is speaking. So that's actually prasanga. That's the meaning of prasanga, that it's an exchange. It's not just mere a lecture or something like that. It's part of a bigger program. So first we have the chanting, then there will be some talks, then there is again chanting, and then of course there's the important part, that's the prasada. So we read text 30. I will read the Sanskrit. We have only short time left. It's up till 5 o'clock. So I will read just the Sanskrit for you all, and then we will read the English translation and the purport. Natya shaknon yavastatum brahmaktiva cha me manaha nimithani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Arjuna is speaking here, and the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita has different names. Here it is mentioned observing the armies, but it's also called Vishada Yoga. But we now here stated observing the army. So Arjuna is bringing his car. He's asking Krishna to bring the car, his how you call it? Chariot between the armies, and then he's looking around what is going on. And then he sees on the other side, he sees the Dronacharya, he sees family members, he sees his guru, he sees his nephews, he sees all kind of family members. And then Arjuna is getting a crisis, actually. That's the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? Well, that's before, actually, this picture. This is after. Then he's already convinced that, okay, I have to fight now. Actually, once he was showing me the picture, actually this picture is wrong. Yeah. Who says yeah?
One horse.
Huh?
One horse less.
Well, but there's another thing, but it's actually more striking wrong. But the devotees didn't know that. Actually, that in the Vedic style of fighting, when you read all the descriptions, there's a whole part of the Vedas you can read how the cards and how everything was looking like. Then the archer is sitting on a high platform, and the chariot driver is sitting low. So Krishna, and that's also very significant, Krishna takes a very low position. We don't see it here. They actually, if I look like this, Krishna looks even a little higher than Arjuna. But in the real reality on the battlefield, Krishna was sitting very low. He was sitting so low that in order for the charioteer to, because there's a war going on, right? So there's many wars going now in the world, so you can know a war means a lot of noise. There's all kind of shouting, people are dying, horses, elephant, trumpets, conch shells blowing. There's a lot of noise. So how the archer is going to give instruction? There's no microphone and he is thumping in his ears and saying, okay, now we go to the left, and now we go to the right. No, it's not like that. So what he's doing, he's directing the driver with his feet. He's putting his right feet on his right shoulder, and he knows I have to go to the right. He puts his left feet on the left shoulder, he goes to the left. He puts both feet, and there's a whole way to signal. Maybe a little bit here, a little bit there, means a little bit not too far, a little bit like that. There's a whole way of how that works. So Krishna took that position. He took that position as charioteer driver, and Arjuna is sitting high, he's sitting low, and Arjuna's feet are on his shoulder to direct him. That's the position he is. So that's very significant. So he's asking Arjuna, his driver, okay, bring my car, my chariot, in between the armies. Let me see who is there, who is the enemy, and what is going on. And then he's in crisis, he's in distress. And this verses, this section of the Gita is expressing that distress. He's saying, I am now unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. So he's completely off his balance. He's completely out of balance. Now we have to understand that actually Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord. So he's in this position by Krishna's arrangement. And there is a potency, it's called Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya arranges that he really thinks himself in this position, unable to stand here any longer. I'm forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshanim. So it's like a theater. But if we have theaters here regularly going on, we have some plays around it, all kinds of different plays. We had a nice place with Nishingadeva appearance day. So then there is a play going, that one who is the actor who knows that he's playing a role. Actually, some actors, when they are on the movie, get so far in their role that they identify completely with the role, even outside of the movie, or outside of the acting. But generally, we play an act, we know I'm playing an act, and then, okay, now I put off my clothes, and now I'm back again, my simple self, Janakinada, like that. So we play a role, and like that. But Arjuna is not playing a role like that. He's really, by Krishna's special energy, by Krishna's Yoga Maya, really thinking that he is on that battlefield and that he is unable to stand there any longer, that he is in a crisis, he doesn't know what to do, because we will see that in the following verses. So he's in that crisis now, and he says, and we read the Prabhupada's verse, he says, I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. So Prabhupada says, due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of mind. So he was forgetting himself because he had some weakness there. For the sake, so that we can hear Bhagavad Gita. actually means. We will tell a little bit more about it. So Prabhupada says here there are two, this losing of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. And Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The word nimitani, viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectation, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of the real self-interest by Krishna's will, by the power of Yoganaya. Sri Karunanitai, Gaur Chandra Ki Jai. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna, and the conditioned soul forgets this, and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of limitation for him. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacharya Satayane. So how it comes about that Arjuna is in this kind of situation? What is going on? What is the cause of this stressful situation for him? How does that work? And in the Sanskrit we have a term, it's called upadis. So Arjuna, it said that when a child is born, so the first, that we have quite some just born children around here, and we can ask the mothers and the fathers of how that goes in his work, and what is the first thing a child feels or does. Who knows? A baby is born, what is the first thing? The mothers know, fathers know also. Is crying. Not freely, they have to give him, right? He's born and then they knock on his backside and then he starts crying, or she starts crying. So then what is the first identity a child has?
Suffering.
Yeah? There's a Sanskrit term, it's not dukkha, they call it different. They say his first identity is anamaya. Ana means food, and maya means I, me. I want food. I am food. Actually, I hungry. The first thing a baby is what he's realizing is that that she or he is hungry. Hungry. That's my identity. So that's the first upadi. Upadis are actually, it's like we have this basic identities that we always said. We have this false ego, ahankar, right? That is the identification with the body. And this explains, actually in the first chapter, and this upadis explain how that exactly works. This identification with the body. It's developing layer after layer. So the first layer, the first covering, because it's said in Sastras, when the baby is in the womb, then it's still realized, it still knows about his past and present, and it's promising to Krishna, when I will come out, I will try to be a devotee, I will try to become a devotee. And as soon as it, due to the painful situation of taking birth, he forgets all that, and then the first identity what comes up is I hungry. I hungry. That's me. That's what I am. That's his identity. That's the first upadi. So then our little girl grows up, then it becomes Mama. Oh, there's somebody else. I am Mama. I am my mama. I am my mother. So then that's the next. I'm Mama's little girl. I'm Mama's little boy. Then, oh, there's another guy also around in the house. I'm Papa's little girl. I'm Papa's little boy. So this is layers after layers of identification. Then you can already understand where in which direction it goes. Then it grows a little bit old. Then I'm a nice, beautiful girl. My mother dressed me so nice with this little thing and this, that, and so. That's another identification. Then you go to the primary school. So then this is my teacher, my daddy, the identity we develop is developing of other persons. That's why Arjuna says that he cannot fight, because he sees my friends, my teachers, my nephews, my families on the other side. That's why he cannot fight, because he is so-called in material condition of life. For the sake for make Krishna, so Krishna can speak Bhagavad Gita, so we can listen to it. So the girl grows up, then when she's around 10, 11, she becomes a little bit more attractive. The boys start to see her, so maybe she already has a boyfriend. He is my boyfriend. I go to this school. My teacher says I'm a bad student because I have only low figures. Or my teacher says I'm a good student because I have high figures. Then my boyfriend says he likes me. Then, and so forth, it's a go on. Then finally there's somebody will say the mantra in the material world, the Maha Mantra in the material world.
I love you.
I love you. Everybody is waiting on somebody telling him, I love, no. I love you. So I was reading on that tree when I come here, I read, love is the only cure. So this type of love, is what when people talk, I love you, is mostly what in Bengali they call it stu deha priti. Stu deha priti. There's two types of love mentioned in Bengali. Actually, there's much more types of love. But generally speaking, we can say there's stu deha priti, sukshma deha priti, and atma deha priti. So when this boy says to this girl, I love you, then what this just means he's attracted to her bodily features, isn't it? Generally, especially when they're young. They're just attracted to one and each other, to the bodily features. So that is stu deha priti. That is, you love somebody because how they look like, the body. And that's mostly going on in the world. The world is running on, Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam says, the world is running on the attraction between man and woman. And that attraction is generally stu deha priti. So the next level of love, you can say, is Sukshma Deha Priti. Sukshma Deha Priti. Sukshma Deha Priti means I love you because we both like rock and roll. Or we both like classical music. The Matthias Passion. I like it. So that's a little higher, a little bit more advanced, not at that gross type of love. That we love somebody because of some thing in the mind, some mental kind of thing. So that's the level of mental love, you can say, Sukshma Deha Priti, in the mind. And then the ultimate love we are longing for is Atma Deha Priti. That's love, as what faces already, of the soul. We love somebody because of the soul. We love our children. The love between parents and children is mostly a little bit more in the direction of Atma Priti. This is not that it's all, we put it in 3 categories, but it's not so that sometimes the borders are a little bit fake. But Prabhupada said that the love of a mother for a child is the most ideal form of love in the material world. It's actually love that is without conditions. The mother doesn't really expect anything from the child, and she accepts all things of the child. The child is pooing and doing things on her nice sari, and child is the mother accepts it. She loves the child without conditions. So that is one gradation of Atma Deya Priti. That's where we want to be in our Krishna conscious movement. So Arjuna here, he is under the influence of these upadis. So he sees enemies, he sees friends, he sees all that. And so that means he's in a kind of bodily conception of life. That's why the Bhagavad Gita starts in chapter 2 with explaining that we are not the body. And so, what is this Atma Deha Priti? What means that? Love. He said, as a saying by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he said, the heart of the Vaishnav Sangha, this is Vaishnav Sangha, the Vaishnav community, the heart of the Vaishnav Sangha, what would that be?
Service.
Almost. Actually, yes, but you go too fast. The heart of the Vaishnav Sangha is Krishna. The heart of the Vaishnava is Krishna. He's there on the altar. Sisikaronitai Gaura Chandi Krishna. Krishna is on the altar. That is the heart of the Vaishnava Sangha. But what is in the heart of Krishna? Devotees. The heart of Krishna is the devotees. It's said in our Shastras, Krishna loves the devotees more than anything else. And the devotees love Krishna. We see that in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, that the love is, is becoming more and more and more and more all the time. And it goes to level, it's hard for us to understand. But that's the thing. Radharani is the devotee and Krishna is the Lord, so the Radharani is in the heart of Krishna and Krishna is in the heart of Radharani. So Bhaktisiddhanta says the heart of Vaishnava Sangha is Krishna and the heart of Krishna are the devotees. So now we come at the thing of service, how we love devotees. That is by serving the devotees. That is by serving the devotees. And some devotees think, okay, I'm serving the Vaishnavas, I'm doing service, I do service in the society, and that is the means to reach a higher goal, isn't it? The service is meant to reach a higher goal. Seva, and especially in Indian community, that is people want to do seva. Why they want to do seva? To reach a higher goal, to become liberated, to get mukti, to get so many, or maybe even to get material things. That's why they do seva. There's one lady here, she comes every now and then, she comes to bring something, and her concept is I bring some, because some pandit said I should do that, so I bring some seva in order to get rid of some problem in the life. So a lot of people think that seva is the means to reach something. But that's not true. Ramanujacharya says, serving the Vaishnavas is not a means to reach a goal, it is the goal. Welcome to the Hare Krishna movement. Serving the Vaishnavas is the goal of the Hare Krishna movement. Serving the Vaishnavas, serving one and each other is the goal of the Hare Krishna movement. By serving the Vaishnavas, we get rid of so many bad things. And that's the story. I'm going to give a story about it. I have to look at the time. There's a story in a book. It's called Bhakta Mala. So there are many books called Bhakta Mala. And most of them are not bona fide. There's many Sanskrit books, Bhakta Mala. There's the Mala of Bhakta, verses and slokas about Bhakti Yoga. But this Bhakta Mala book was a book that was used by
by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in his Bhakti Sastri course. The devotees had to read this book. And then in this book there is a story about Trilochan and Antarjani. Trilochan and Antarjani. So Trilochan, he lived in South India, and he was a great devotee of the Lord, actually. And Trilochan was like we. He had his work to do. He had his wife and children. He had to go. He had to arrange this. He had to have a responsible job. He has to do so many things. So Trilochan, maybe this sounds familiar. He had no time to do seva, but he had a desire. He wanted to do seva. He wanted to serve the Vaishnavas. He had a strong desire. He wanted to serve the Vaishnavas, but he could not because the children had to go to school, and the wife, it must be. He had to do shopping, and he has to do this, and he has some people who work for him. So, he had many things to do. So he had a desire to have a servant who could help him to serve the Vaishnavas. So he was meditating on that desire of I would like to have a servant who can help me to serve the Vaishnavas. Because in the old days in India, the Vaishnavas traveling around, and still nowadays sadhus are traveling around in India, and they're knocking on the doors of different people's homes, and then the people will give some rice or some prasad or maybe uncooked stuff, and they will go and they will prepare some meal and they will offer it to Krishna. This is not that they are beggars. Actually, they give the household people a chance to do some seva, because they are devotees. They are doing spiritual activities, so their householders get some chance to do some seva, and sometimes they invite them in the house, and the Vaishnava, the beggar or the sannyasi or the sadhu will talk a little bit about spiritual subject matters with them, and in that way they can slowly prepare themselves for the stage after household life. In Vedic culture, when you're about 50, 60 years old, then you leave your family and you start to concentrate yourself on developing the spiritual life. That's actually tradition. So this devotees is traveling around. So and this Trilochan, he wanted to serve, but nobody was there to help him. He was too busy. So Krishna is there in everybody's heart. So Krishna saw his desire. So Krishna came to his door and he knocked on his door. And Krishna came not as Krishna. Krishna came as a poor guy. Sometimes we see these people on the street, they're lying on the street, they sleep. There's certain places when I pass with the bike, every time when I come a little bit late in the evening, there's a guy. He has a carton and he's sleeping there on the street, under some kind of balcony. So this Krishna in this story was looking like that. He just had nothing, only a lion cloth, and he had a daken, blanket around this with a hole in it, with his head put through, so that's how he came. He was looking a little dirty too. Not too dirty, but you could see he is in need of a bath. So he knocked on the door, and he asked for something. Then Trilochan said, oh, and he is a Vaishnava. So he said, oh, you look so pure. Are you in need of anything? Can I do something? He says, well, not really. And then he was thinking, okay, I need a servant. He said, well, I have this vacant job here. I need a servant. Can you help me? Can you help me? Do you know how to do seva? Krishna asked Bhaga, says, oh yes, I can do seva. Oh, and do you like to come and help me to save the Vaishnavas? Krishna, oh yes, I like to serve the Vaishnavas. I like to serve the Vaishnavas. So he said, okay, maybe you should work for me. I'll employ you. And then Krishna says, yes, yes, I like to very much, but there's one condition. There's only one condition. And Trilochan said, what is the condition? He says, well, I like to eat. Oh, that's no problem. My wife cooks every day, so she can cook for you also. He said, no, it's not like that. I like to eat a little bit more than generally. So how much would you like? Well, Krishna said, I like about 10 kg of rice a day. 10 kilo. That's like one kg is like for 10 persons generally. So 10 kg for like 100 persons. And this beggar says, I like to eat that every day. And Lord says, oh, no problem. I will instruct my wife and she can cook. So this beggar starts his job. He starts his job. And he's taking care of the Vaishnavas exemplary. So very nicely. And he's always smiling, and he likes, and he's serving, and when a guest comes, he gives them a little drink, a lime drink, and he gives them a nice place to sit, he washes their feet, and do you want to sleep, or you want to stay for the night, or you want to go next day, like that. He was taking care very nicely, very expertly he was taking care. And it was going on so for a couple of weeks, actually for a couple of months was going on. And then the wife of Lochan, it's always today. Yeah? So the wife of Lochan, she was talking with a friend. Friend was coming over, a friend lady, and said, "Oh my dear, you look so tired. What is going on?" And she said, and this beggar had said, "You should not complain. That's the condition. I can't. If you feed me 10 kg of rice every day, you don't complain, then our relationship is perfect." So this lady she said to this neighboring lady, yes, well, yes, I'm okay, but you see, we have this new servant, and he eats for like 100 persons a day, so I have to cook rice again, and again, I'm cooking all day. That's why I'm looking tired. And this beggar, his name was Antrayami. His name was Antrayami. That means the witnesser, the one who sees. Antrayami. His Paramatma is Antrayami. So Krishna took that name, and he is actually that, but he was playing the role of a beggar. But he actually knew what this lady was selling, was talking about. So immediately, she was complaining, immediately Antrayami disappeared. He was not there anymore. He was gone. So now, Trilochan, he said, "Oh my dear, what did you do? Why you complain?" And he stopped eating. He didn't eat anything. He fasted for 3 days. He didn't want to eat anything. He was not cursing his wife, but he said, "Why you did that? That was the agreement I had with this person, with Antrayami. That was the agreement we had, that we should not complain. So now you said this thing to your neighboring lady, and now he's gone. What to do? Now I cannot serve the Vaishnavas anymore." So he was going to fast for 3 days. He fasted, and then finally on the third day there was a voice, Akash, a voice from the sky, and the voice said, "No, Trilochan, you can eat, don't worry. You can still eat. I can come back if you want." And then he started to realize who was actually there. What was the person? Who was the person he was actually having as his servant? He started to realize it was actually Krishna. So then he didn't want that. And he said, "Oh, no, you please stay where you are. I cannot employ you as my servant." And like that, But we can see from this story how important it is for the devotees to serve the other devotees. Krishna himself wants to come and serve the devotees. So what about us then? What about us? Krishna wants it. But if we mostly, I'm going on the streets, I mean this mostly in the bodily concept of life. So I see bodies and not spirit souls. I don't see the soul. I try, I know in my heart it's just a spirit soul. I should not look at the body, but still it's, you know. So that's the problem what Arjun has here on the battlefield. For our sake, he's in this bodily conception of life. So that's why he doesn't want to fight, and that's why he's out of balance. And the Prabhupada says that people who are too much attached to material things, they're becoming out of balance. You know, if you look around in the world, I would say 150% of the people in the world are out of balance. If we see what is going on, what is for crazy things are going on? There's war here, war there, killing there, raping here, raping there, fire there, and so much things is going on. So the world is out of balance, and that's a very serious thing. And the only solution for that is actually Sadhu Sangha, Vaishnava Sangha. And we, as Vaishnavas, aspirant Vaishnavas, should show that to the outer world by our dealings, how we deal with one and each other. So I'm almost concluding. So there's where's Rajarani? There was a lecture given by Prabhupada in Mauritius in 1976. She's from Mauritius. So, and then Prabhupada taught, oh, there's Rajarani. Rajarani, Prabhupada gave a lecture in Mauritius in 1976.
Okay.
So listen. What is Prabhupada saying? You don't find this lecture in the Veda base and all the lectures of Prabhupada. It was said that Prabhupada gave the lecture, and then they sent. At that time, they were working with these little tape recorders. So they sent the tape to the BTG in Los Angeles in order to record it and to transcribe it. But the tape got lost. The tape of the lecture got lost. So there is some statement in the BTG. So if you would look at the BTG, the Back to Godhead magazine from that year, you can find these statements. So Prabhupada said the next thing about Vaishnava Sangha. Prabhupada said, Vedic society is based on the principle of love between husband and wife, father and son, king and the citizens, and so on. You got this? Vedic society is based on the principle of love between husband and wife, father and son, king and the citizen, and so on. So it's not the Stu Deha Priti, not the Sukshma Deha Priti, but the Atma Deha Priti. There's the principles of love based on the concept that we are spirit souls. That type of love Prabhupada is talking about. So then Prabhupada said, civilization must be founded on love and not law. Civilization must be founded on love and not on law. So our modern civilization is based on law. And when it's based on law, then and not based on Atma Priti, Deha Priti, on love of the soul, then we will always be in confusion. We will always be imbalanced. And it will grow and become more and more prominent in society. And that period of the society we are now in. The imbalance is growing and growing on all sides because there's no love. There's no real love. No Atma Deha Priti, no love of the soul. It's all based on love for the body and love for the mind. So Prabhupada says civilization must be founded on love, not law. And then Prabhupada continues, by law, you cannot make a person love you. And you see this whole principle in Prabhupada's own life. He didn't start by saying, oh, you should follow this, you should do that, you should that. No, he developed a relationship of love with his with the first devotees. Actually, this principle is also counting on book distribution. First, you have to kind of relationship. Oh, love is a big word, but there must be some relationship. Then you can say, okay, you can take the book, but you must give a donation. You cannot start with the rule, donation, and then start to develop a relationship. No, first the relationship. So that's what Prabhupada says. By law, you cannot make a person love you. First, he must love you, then he will gladly follow your law. First, the person must love you, then he will follow gladly your law. Modern civilization lacks this basis of love. It's still Prabhupada speaking. So modern civilization lacks this basis of love. So everything is superficial and false in our modern society. Everything is superficial and false. Hare Krishna. Actually, it's not so good because we finished the class with a, how you call it? Not so happy message. So let's chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is there anybody who wants to comment or has to have a little exchange, ask a question, say something, make it a sangha, make it a prasanga? It's possible now. We have some time. Yes, Madam.
Oh, in the verse it says that Arjuna is addressing Krishna as O killer of the Keshadini. Is there also, like, in some verse, Prabhupada explains also why he's addressing Krishna in this way? Is it also happening in this verse?
And?
In this verse is also some explanation why Arjuna is addressing Krishna as...
It's not in this purport, but it is in the Bhagavad Gita, and it's also Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining that the Keshi demon, Krishna was killing the Keshi demon. So Arjuna is referring to that. So he wants Krishna to kill the demon of imbalance in him. So that's also how we can approach Krishna, actually to ask Krishna to kill our imbalance, to kill our bodily concept of life, and to become a real devotee. Yeah? Yeah? Somebody else? Actually, otherwise I will close with a prayer, my favorite prayer. Yes? Yes, Madhuri.
So how do you suggest we properly love our fellow Vaishnavas?
How we properly love fellow Vaishnavas?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the community. What can we do to sort of like properly serve them and love them? What would that look like? Could you give some examples?
The love between the devotees is Krishna Katha. If we have sufficient Krishna Katha, and Krishna Katha is like a sandwich. There's first Kirtan, then there's Krishna Katha, then there's again Kirtan. So if we have regularly this Prabhupada giving us this thing, if we do it regularly, then that means actually how we give body to our love for the Vaishnavas. From that we will learn how to behave and how to do towards one and each other. So that's the practical advice. Try to have more, in this way, sadhu sangha. Try to have more classes, more lectures, more prasanga, more talking about Krishna, and in that way we're showing our love for one and each other. And if we meet with one and each other also, it's the same thing. Sometimes during the week I'm here and as a pujari, and then we talk with our head pujari, Mukti Devi Datri, and then sometimes we talk, she's asking about something about what is going on in the news. So we talk about what things going on in the news. But that is not actually Sangha. When we talk about Krishna, then it becomes Sangha. And then we can actually realize that also. Try to do it. If you meet somebody, instead of talking about some worldly thing, I do that often myself, I preach to myself. If we can put Krishna in that conversation one way or another, some story, something, some prayer, then you can see it goes up. It becomes it becomes actually love. That is how we express our love. So I want to then close with a prayer. I just came across this prayer. I was listening to lecture of a god brother of mine. He's a scholar. He's a very learned person, and so he was mentioning this prayer. It's actually his 4 prayers. I don't know if we have time. Where's the boss? Then I will read all the four slokas. I will not read the Sanskrit. Radharani, even een beetje geduld.
Is goed hoor.
I have permission.
Nee, prima.
I have permission. Okay, so this is called. Let me see. I wrote it down. It's Vrita Chatur Vrita Sloka. Chatur Vrita Sloka. It's 4 verses from the 11th chapter of the 6th canto, and that's the story of Vrita Sura. You knowing the story, right? So you know the prayers also.
I've read them.
Yeah, they're very nice. So we can read. I will just read them, and the last one. Put special attention to the last one, because that's actually the conclusion. So what he says here is, "O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes. My words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your Lordship." That's text 24. Text 25. "O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. Oh, lotus-eyed Lord," this is very nice. This is the one, almost the last one, the one before the last one. "O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, and as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you." And then the last prayer, my favorite. "O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities, and therefore I simply seek friendship and the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you." So, in the last prayer, Rita Su is praying for, therefore I simply seek friendship and the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. He doesn't say, "I want to go to your spiritual." I just want to have friendship. I want to be in the sadhus. I want to associate with the sadhus and exchange and loving exchange by talking about Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Grace Janaki Nath Prabhu ki
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, Gauri Premanande.
So we're gonna have Gaura Arti, ladies can go on this side, gentlemen can go on this side. श्री श्री करताय गौरचंद्र की जय। Iba Jayo
Krishna Prestaya Bhutale
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananti Koti Vaisnavanda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se ko Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasiri Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana ki jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navadvip Dham ki jai. Bhakti ki jai. Namdami ki jai. Mati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Mati Devi ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai. Amsterdam Sunday Love Feast ki jai. Karunanitai Gaura Chandani ki jai. Gaura Premanande. All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to the Son of the Lord. All glories to the Lord of Sri Sri Guru Gaura. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for coming today. It's on Sunday, ISKCON Amsterdam Sunday Feast. First of all, very much welcome to our senior devotees, His Grace Parida Prabhu, and all the other senior devotees who are here. Sorry? Jati Mataji, of course, very senior devotee. And let me give a big thanks to our guest speaker of today, His Grace Janakinath Prabhu. Give a big Hari Bol. Also, both the cooking teams and the flower decoration teams. Hari Bol. So the cooking today was Lakshmi Mataji with her team. So they must have made something very special, which you all will experience after this boring speech. And this, of course, Ekadashi Prasad. So upcoming Saturday, there's Harinam, organized by the group Harinam Sankirtan.nl in Dordrecht, if I'm correct. Right? Dordrecht. So it will start around 12 o'clock. More details will be in our newsletter, which will come on coming Tuesday. So please keep an eye on that. Then bigger Harinam on the 13th of July. We will have our annual Rath Yatra Festival. We will go on the streets with Lord Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani in a big chariot to Dam Square, where a big festival will be held from. So the chariot parade will start at 12 in front of the temple, and we will arrive around 3 o'clock in Dam Square. So for that, of course, as you can imagine, we need a lot of funds. So we have several options. You can help us support this Rath Yatra. Because we now have around 25% of the budget is right?
Yeah, so I think so I want to thank all of you, like last week, no, not last week, but Narsimha Chaturdashi, you all were so generous. It was actually beyond our expectation. We collected 25% of the budget on single day. So it was around, we have budget of approximately 22,000 odd, it's not accurate. But we collected somewhere around 5,000 on the first day. So thank you so much, from bottom of my heart and from the whole Rath Yatra team and Amsterdam, like the temple board. So we expect, something similar today. So the more we can collect already now, we can plan better. So we want to give, a better experience from previous year. So I think Vijay Prabhu can request for that. So not 25%, but whatever, is you think is possible, it's better to just contribute. So we already know where we are heading towards. And thank you again.
Thank you. So there is a poster. This poster is also in the hallway with a QR code you can use if you want to support us with a kind donation. Or otherwise, just take a look on our website, iskonamsterdam.nl. There's also more information about it. And if you want to sponsor as a business, it's also very much welcome. So we can then put your name somewhere on the flyer or mention it to the festival. There's a separate website for that, but come to me for that. I will give you the more details about that. So that's about the Rath Yatra. So today's Sunday feast is sponsored by Tarun Krishna Prabhu. No, not Tarun Krishna, Tarun Prabhu. On behalf of his daughter's birthday, whose name is Tarini. So I don't see the age, but anyway, you can sing one time Hare Krishna for her. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna to you.
May Radharani bless you. May Radharani bless you. May Radharani bless you, dear
May Radharani bless you. So indeed, we hope that Radharani might bless Tarini Mataji and of course her parents also, that they will grow in their spiritual life and indeed will go back to Krishna at the end of life. Thank you so much. We have another birthday also also today because Jai Shri Mataji, the wife of Toshin Krishna Prabhu, one of our board members, her birthday is today. She isn't here today, unfortunately. And it's also their wedding anniversary. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna to you. May Radharani bless you, may Radharani bless you, may Radharani bless you. Very good, thank you so much. So there were a few first time comers here today, right? Can you please raise your hands? Who is for the first time? Jai, not.
Please come here.
You don't have to come. We give a small token of appreciation to our first time visitors. So please keep your hands raised. Only 10 pounds. Sorry?
English or Dutch?
Yeah. So you're all English speaking or Dutch? Who is Dutch? Oh yeah, of course. Are you the problem?
Keep your hands raised if you're for the first time, so you can get a present. But there's one
English?
almost in-
Dutch? English? English. Yeah.
So we're very happy to see you today. Please come more often if you are able to. Our updates are on our website or on our newsletter, which you can subscribe for on the website isconemsenen.nl, or come to me, I will subscribe too. And so you can keep up to date with our programs and come more often. Thank you so much. So we will continue now with the last part of the program, which is the Prasadam. So, Shikharmanta Gauri Chandra ki.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for all donations, cash, PIN, website, we have all kinds of methods. So please